everyone, and welcome to Amazon Q4 Mastery. We are on week 2, and week 2 is all about understanding your current business. We have Amy here with us, and who will help you understand your current business, and she will also talk about how you might as well be earning more at McDonald's than you're doing in your current job. It might come as a shock. I suggest you get your seatbelts ready. A little bit about Amy. Amy is an entrepreneur. She's a brand builder, and she's an investor. And she's an inventor. That's crazy. Amy is CEO of Amazing at Home e-commerce. She helps unique brands build a unique brand, and she also helps with SEO optimization. We're so glad to have you here with us, Amy.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you as well. Amy has prepared a very detailed PPT for us, and I would just ask you to sit back and analyze your current business with us. So let's get started, Amy.
All right. Well, I'm excited to talk to you guys today about really thinking about your business. I do a lot of consulting. And the biggest thing about when I'm talking to people is they're hoping to leave their job, right? And some of you may already be there. And congratulations. And I'm sure that you'll agree with me that what got you there was analyzing your numbers, really analyzing your business, making sure that that business was scalable. And let me just caveat this presentation with, I'm not an accountant. I'm not actually really super comfortable with running numbers, and I'm so thankful that I have an accountant and she's amazing. But it's so important that we as business owners can analyze our numbers of our products. We need to understand how much profit we're making and how to do all of that. So that's what I'm focused on today, is helping you guys do some basic analysis of your numbers, crunch some of your own numbers. Of course, you're still going to have your accountant to really get things going for you. But if you can analyze your own numbers of your products and bring some of your costs down and bring your profitability up, that is going to equal scalability for your business. So let's get into it. We're going to get started here with the Q4 business checkup. As Ria mentioned, I'm Amy Weiss from Amazing at Home. I have a course called Concept to Launch, and this is where I teach all this stuff for those folks that really want to build a brand and learn to bring unique products to market. This may be the course for you. You can go and check it out at amazingathome.com. But anyway, we're going to get moving. We're going to talk about setting your goals, understanding your numbers, maximizing your profits, and your Q4 strategy. So your new job as a business owner is to focus on profit. I know that we see a lot of screenshots from gurus in their Lamborghinis and, at their expensive beach houses. But the bottom line is, it's fine if we're making $444,000 in revenue, but what is going in our pocket? What is going in our pocket, and what kind of struggles are we having behind that screenshot? Maybe we're paying too much for advertising. Maybe our listings aren't optimized. Maybe we're paying long-term storage fees. Maybe we paid way too much for that product from the supplier, or way too much in shipping tariffs, and we're not actually making any money, or we're barely breaking even. So we really, really want to focus on how much we're looking to pay ourselves and making the dream of replacing our income a reality, right? We really want to focus on profits and not revenue. We want to set our goals, make our plans, invest in our plan, and control our destiny, right? That is the biggest thing. And so in order for us to be long-term successful with our business, we want to make sure that we know what our goals are and that our choices that we make in our business are going to support that. So business planning, I know this is super boring and nobody likes to put together a business plan, but if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. So really, just like you're planning for Q4, if we're doing a business checkup, I want you to check in on your business plan. If you never made a business plan, you might want to take some time and actually think about that, right? Because we want to think about our products and services, our marketing plan, our sales and distribution plan, all the things that kind of go into our business plan. And really, when we think about Q4, there's so many increased expenses. right? We're paying more in storage fees. They're assessed every 30 days. We're paying more all across our business in many different areas. Sometimes we pay more for shipping, all of that. And advertising is more expensive during Q4. So we want to have a plan. We want to make sure that it's not the same plan we have the rest of the year when expenses are different, right? So have a plan. That's the bottom line. And then really, when you're thinking about checking up on your business, I want you to think about what the future of your business looks like. Right now, you might be all of these things, right? You might be the sales department, the marketing department, public relations, IT, I'm sure you're all these things, and maybe you've hired your first virtual assistants, things like that. Maybe you're using some tools to help you out, SellerApp has some great tools to help you out, but the bottom line is, where are you going? And are your current products and profits going to get you there? And that's why I'm going to teach you a different way to calculate your profits today. I want you today to calculate your hourly wage. And I just kind of want to show you that, because if McDonald's looks appealing, getting a job at McDonald's looks appealing after you calculate your numbers, it'll help you make some better decisions in your business. Okay. So think about the future and where you're going. That starts with understanding the numbers in your business. Again, caveat, I'm not an accountant, but we have to really face some numbers. And this is something so many sellers struggle with. I go over numbers on every business call, on every consulting call, and many times people are not making any money. And they're wondering why they can't seem to get ahead in their business. So I'm going to give you some examples here. First of all, some basic numbers that we want to understand is sales, right? Product price times the number of orders. Revenue, our product sales price. And cost, what does it cost us? There's a lot of elements inside of cost. And then finally profit, which is that revenue minus those costs. But I'm going to give you an example. I have a merchant fulfilled product. This is one of my products, right? And so the cost to make it is $6. And that's not the cost to make it anymore, because I was able to find a new supplier and reduce my cost. I'm going to show you what that looks like in this presentation. But the cost to ship it from China is about $1.50 when all is said and done. And then per unit, that is. I wish it was for 1,000 units, $1.50, that'd be great. My Amazon fees, now this is a merchant fulfilled product, so my Amazon fees are only $5.83, and you can see this from my sales report right here, $38.87, right? Amazon fees are $5.83. And then my cost to ship it to the customer is about $10, right? If these were Amazon fees, if these were fulfilled by Amazon fees, it's going to be about $15 anyway. So it's okay. It's a wash in the end, right? So we can say that our total costs on this product are $23.33. All right. Now our revenue, that's how much we sell it for, right? Total product charges on your Amazon sales report, $38.87. That leaves me $15.54 profit. Now, many people do not have this much profit left over after selling their products. And what I like to think about, I follow the profit first method. So I like to think about setting aside the cost to buy new inventory, right? I want to be able to set aside the cost to buy new inventory. Now I've paid myself back for the inventory that I've bought already, that's $7.50 with the sale of this product. But now I want to take that profit, I want to take a chunk of that profit and I want to set it aside so that I can pay for that $7.50 of new inventory and I'm not borrowing money, right? Because if we're borrowing money to buy new inventory and we're constantly borrowing, we don't have enough profit left over to set aside that money and pay ourselves, we quickly get in a hole and we're digging to try to get ourselves out. And we're like, where in the heck is all this money going? I'm making all these sales and I don't have any money left over, right? So a really good way to test your numbers is to run these numbers and look at this total profit that you have and see how much net profit is left over. And if you do not have enough net profit to buy at least one more unit of inventory, you're going to be in trouble. It's going to be very hard to scale your business. So I just really want you guys to focus on that, right? That's the first indicator to check this and check up on your products. So when we look at that now, we haven't included advertising. So we got to look at some other costs here, right? So this is the same numbers that we just ran, $23 in total cost, $15 in profit. And we see 30 days of sales. I sold 90 units in this 30-day period, right? And so that brings us to $1,300 in profit per unit. Or sorry, over 30 days, not per unit. So $1,300 over 30 days of profits, right? But then we got to take our advertising spend. And this is something that a lot of sellers struggle with. So I'm going to give you a little hack here. All you're going to do is you're going to go into your campaign manager on Amazon, and you're going to sort that date range by the last 30 days. And you're going to look at your total spend for that product. So in this case, my spend was only $95, and I only had 5 orders that were attributed to advertising. So look at my organic sales. I'm going to pat myself on the back. 85 units in organic sales. Amazing. I only spent 39 cents average cost per click and only spent $95 on advertising. Sweet. Do you see that often? Do you guys see that often? Do you see that much organic sales? All right. So what you're going to do now, I've got the $1,398, right, for my 90 units. And what you can do, if you're wondering where this sales report is located, in your inventory dashboard on Amazon, you can just click the SKU. If you click the SKU, it'll take you to your sales for that product. And so you can look over the last 30 days and see how much. And I want you guys all to do this. Do this exercise, right? Look at how much it costs you to make. Look at how many you've sold over the last 30 days. Look at how much advertising cost you in total spend over all your campaigns for that product the last 30 days, right? And then I want you to subtract, right? So we're going to subtract the cost of advertising, so our total spend, right? And so that brought me to $1,300. Then I have to subtract the cost to buy replacement inventory, right? $7.50 each is what it cost me, and I need to buy 90 more units to replace those 90 units that I just sold. That's $675. So now I subtract that, and I've got $628 left over, right? So I subtract advertising and the cost to buy new inventory. And I got $628 left for me. Now I gotta subtract my SellerApp fees. I gotta subtract my Amazon fees. I've gotta subtract my operating expenses, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And so let's say that cost me $200 per month. All right, I'm left with $428, and maybe I spent 32 hours this month working on this product. I can pay myself. This product pays me $13 an hour. Not a bad employee, right? Not a bad employee, but McDonald's is looking pretty good. I heard that they pay $14 an hour. So, so let's take a look at advertising costs though. Most people do not have mostly organic sales. And most people are not only spending 39 cents cost per click like I was, right? Most people are spending over $1. If you're in a very competitive category, your cost per click, especially during Q4, is going to be well over $1. And so if we run these same numbers again, and we had those same 244 clicks over 2 campaigns times $1 per click, our advertising costs are now $488. That leaves our balance to $910. And then we subtract the cost to buy new inventory, and we're at $235. Then we subtract our operating expenses, and this product is now paying us $1 per hour. So you've just seen a product that pays me $13 an hour if I spend 32 hours in a month working on it. And then you see if that same product was a very highly competitive product and I was spending a lot on advertising, you've seen how much money you can make with a product and how much money most people are making with products that are very competitive. So you really have to think about it. And we're gonna get into what you need to be looking at to reduce those advertising costs. And this Q4 Mastery is gonna be awesome because it's gonna teach you all the different things that you can do to reduce those costs. All right, so how do we improve this? How do we make improvements? We have to focus on the things that we can control. So this is I've actually given myself a raise. I was able to bring down the cost of this product to $1.68 by working with a factory instead of a trading company. And I was able to order more of this product at a time and bring down my shipping costs, because if you can pay for a whole container at a time. So I cut my shipping costs from $1.50 down to $1. And now my total costs are only $18.51 with Amazon fees and all of that, right? And then I've got my revenue of $38, which is the same as before, but my profit has increased to $20 a unit. Yes, amazing. I love it. Okay, now we're talking, right? So now that same 90 units over that 30 days times $20 profit per unit, I've given myself a little bit of a raise here. Then I subtract that same advertising spend, and wow, okay, now we're talking. And we bring down our operating expenses and all of that, and we're at $40 an hour now. Yes, this product is a good employee. I like it. So really, you guys, this is an easy way for you to look at your products and go, all right, what could I improve to, help my margin? So some things that we can look at to see if our products are winners. Number one, what can we sell it for? What can we sell a product for? We want to look at that before sourcing a product. We also want to look at this during Q4, because there might be increased competition. You might be able to sell it for more during Q4 if it's a really giftable item than it sells for during the summer. But if it's a summer seasonal item, it might not sell as well during Q4. So we want to look at what can we sell it for. We never want to hope we can sell it for something. So many sellers do that. They go, okay, Amy, I paid $20 to source this product, so I'm really hoping I can sell it for $100. But then we look at the market on Amazon and everybody's selling this product for $20. And I'm like, guys, that's not going to work, right? That's not going to work. So can we control the price? That's the second thing we have to look at. If there's competition, there's always competition, right? If we're selling this water bottle right here, there's other competition. So we can't often control the price. We need to look at what the market is willing to pay. So we need to look across Amazon, see what the market is willing to pay, and say, can we control the price of this, right? The next thing, what's the cost to manufacture it? If the cost to manufacture a stainless steel product right now is really, really, really high, I need to take that into consideration if I can only sell this product for $10 because it's very saturated, right? That's another thing we need to look at. And then finally, can we get a minimum multiplier of 7x? And I love to use 7x as a minimum multiplier. And I'm going to show you guys what that looks like, because a lot of people don't use multipliers. This is a little hack. Multipliers are a hack because you can easily go, what can I sell it for and what can I buy it for? And is what I can buy it for at least 7 times what I can sell it for? And if it is, then you know you have a good product there. Now, you do have to look though, can you control the price? And if you can't control the price, then that what you can sell it for might go down, and then you don't have that multiplier in there. So you do still have to think about whether you have any price control. So let's look at what customers are going to pay. I have on the left a gold vase on Amazon, $21.09. I'm showing you a very similar gold vase, very similar pictures and branding on Wayfair. Wayfair is the place people go to buy home goods, right? They go and buy home goods on Wayfair. So the same vase on Wayfair is selling for $200 to $34. And the average price, I'm going to show you a screenshot later of this. But anyway, we want to think about when we're on Amazon for our particular products, what are people going to pay for it? We can use the tools that we have and see what are people happy to pay. Who has the best BSR, right? What keywords are the best for that, right? But we really want to look and see and make sure that that our brand can be properly represented for this product on Amazon, right? So can we control the price? I love the example of the toiletry bag because I've had so many clients that are selling high-end toiletry bags, right? High-end toilet, it's a toiletry bag, people. Let's see what people are willing to pay for a toiletry bag. So what do we have to pay attention to? First of all, the price, right? We got $69 for this one. And then we've got $34 for this one, $12 for this one, and $26 for this one. So our very expensive vintage full grain leather, $69.99, $411,000 in beauty and personal care. Do you think this one's selling well?
Not really, no.
No, it's not doing well. So, and then we don't even know how much this seller paid for this thing, right? We don't know if they paid way too much for it. And we're going to get into advertising costs for toiletry bags in a minute, but okay. And then we got this one, $34.99. It's a little, you know, it looks nice. It's got this leather look. It looks nice. $119,000. It's selling a little bit better, right? Beauty and personal care is a huge category on Amazon. So it's got a lot of products. So $119,000 in beauty and personal care actually isn't that bad. I mean, this one's selling okay, right? Then we've got this one here for $12.97. 374 very positive reviews, right? 11,000 in beauty and personal care. They're killing it. They're selling a ton of these things. I really hope that they source them for a really great price. I hope they're making money at that price, right? But the bottom line is the market is telling us something. Now, we can look at this one over here, $26. This one's a little different, right? You can hang it up. It's differentiated a little bit. It's got some side pockets. It's a little different. So they can control the price a little bit more. But they're still being competitive, right? They're right in between the price of the $34.99 one and the $12.97 one. And they've got some additional benefits to their bag. And they're selling quite well. $61,000 in beauty and personal care. I'd be happy to have this product, right? Because it's a differentiation that matters to some customers. It doesn't look the same as all these other bags, right? And I can control the price a little bit. Now, I don't know if the seller's making any money. I would have to sit down with them and go over their numbers, right? But the bottom line is they've done a good job here. So if we're the ones trying to sell this leather, very expensive toiletry bag, we really need to take another look at it and say, is Amazon the right place for this product? Number one. Maybe our website's a better place for it, because then we can really target the traffic and they're not going to see all of our competition, right? And we need to look at how much are we paying for this product? Can we reduce the cost? Can we bring the price down? Because imagine if this really nice full grade leather one was priced around the same price as this one. If they could price themselves around that $30 to $40 price point, they're going to really improve, because people are going to see this vintage leather and they're going to go, oh, dang, I can get a vintage leather one for 40 bucks? Sweet. Right? But then they see that $69 Amazon customer sticker shock and they go, oh no, this one's fine. This one's good. Right? So we have to know our products and our market and whether or not we can control the price. So we need to look at our raw cost, right? Which is our 7x multiplier. So if we can sell it for $70, we divide that by 7. We need to be able to source it for not more than $10, right? That's how we kind of can calculate it. That's how we can use multipliers. So, but we know in this case, if this guy could drop his price a little bit, then, and divide that by 7 and set a new target price with his manufacturer, he could do much better. So we want to aim for that 7x, and I'm going to show you why, right? 7x, I already kind of showed you what a multiplier is, but we want to aim for that. It's the gold standard. You're going to see it on Shark Tank. You see it all over the place. It's a gold standard, and here's why.
Wait, before I ask you a question.
Sure.
All right, so now we're talking about a merchant fulfilled type of selling, right? So what's the difference between merchant fulfilled and FBA fulfilled, like cost wise? Because I think a lot of people are considering merchant fulfilled now because of the whole inventory situation. But the thing with merchant fulfilled I've noticed is that your delivery takes longer sometimes because of UPS, and they're not really they're already overworked in holiday season, and it could add up to your cost as well. So what do you have to say about that? And could you just take me through the price differences as well?
Yeah, definitely. So the thing about merchant fulfilling, and I can stop sharing for a minute. The thing about merchant fulfilling is now the fact that I'm running these numbers with merchant fulfilled numbers, It just happened to be something that I was merchant fulfilling at the time. But I do both. So I FBA and merchant fulfill all of my products. So I'm going to give you a little hack. I'm going to tell you why I do that. Number one, the more offers on a listing, the more ranking juice you get. Do you ever notice those, you ever notice the listings that have like a whole bunch of sellers and how they get a ton of ranking juice, right? That's because the more offers on a listing, the more ranking juice you get, right? So I always list mine both merchant fulfilled and FBA. And of course, you know, FBA, there's so many, I think something like 75% of Americans or higher now, I think, are Prime members. That's incredible. That's awesome. So you definitely want to use Fulfilled by Amazon because then you get that Prime badge. It's incredible, right? But what happens like during COVID, for example, when Amazon was not delivering those Prime products on time, I had a merchant fulfilled listing and I could deliver it myself. So guess what? Suddenly I overtook all my competitors because they were not merchant fulfilling or offering a lower delivery date. So I love to list mine both. And then the other thing, the little hack that you can use is you can actually list your products FBA and FBM, and then when they sell, you can fulfill them through multi-channel fulfillment. So you can still let Amazon fulfill them and you can still have multiple offers on the listing. So it's just something to consider. But in terms of cost, you're right. In some cases, some of my products, I actually make more profit merchant fulfilling them because I can save on shipping. And then other products, it's just better that Amazon fulfills them. It's, you know, so I like to do both. I like to have both there. And I like to keep my options open. And then sometimes I like to combine them and do multi-channel fulfillment.
That's such a great hack. And I've noticed that people who are selling supplements on Amazon are now in a benefit because the packaging is so small and they have no trouble getting space in warehouses as well. So if you're selling medicines or if you want to sell medicines, this is a great time for you as well.
Yeah, and you could also do, if you're selling something small like that, you could do Amazon Small and Light program, which means that your fees are going to be greatly reduced. The only thing too that you can do is if you're selling smaller or easy to ship products and your logistics chain is really, really good, you can also do Seller Fulfilled Prime. The only thing about Seller Fulfilled Prime, so Seller Fulfilled Prime allows you to have a Prime badge on all of your products, right? Even though you're fulfilling them. The only thing about Seller Fulfilled Prime though, is you have to be able to fulfill it within the timelines. So, you know, or you can kind of get in trouble with Amazon and they can remove you from the Seller Fulfilled Prime program. So I always recommend to people, try it with one product that you've got your logistics down really, really well. Try Seller Fulfilled Prime and see, and then add in your other products later.
That's such a good hack. Thanks, Amy. Back to your presentation.
Yeah. So, okay, so a 5x multiplier. These are the same numbers you guys saw before, okay? These are the same numbers of this product, right? $23 in cost, $6 to make it, $1.50 to ship it, right? So this is only a 5x multiplier, right? Because if I take my current revenue and I divide it by the current cost to make and ship it, I'm at a 5x multiplier. And remember, I was at $13 an hour. It wasn't that great. And is it scalable? We have to ask ourselves. At 7x, if we take that $38 and we divide it by 7, that means we need to get it at our cost of goods manufactured plus shipping to $5.55. That's our new target price with our manufacturer, right? So it increases our profit by $1.95 a unit times those 90 units, and that puts us at an increase of $175. So we can give ourselves a little raise, right, if we stick to that 7x multiplier. But what I want to show you guys is right now with my reduced costs, I'm actually at a 14x multiplier on this product, okay? So remember, that's that $40 an hour product that I have, that really good employee. So that's the thing, is if you can see the difference between a 7x multiplier product, a 5x multiplier, most of you guys are at 3x. You know, most of you are getting your products at a 3x, meaning like, you know, you only can 3x, you know, from what it costs you to what you can sell it for. And that really, it limits the amount of money that you can pay yourself and how fast you can scale your business. So you can kind of see the importance of having a minimum 7x multiplier. On Amazon, I like to always aim for a 10x multiplier. So that means if I can sell it for $70, I want to be able to source it for $7, right? But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys how you can use multipliers when you're considering products to show scalability. All right, there's the difference right there. The 5x, my original 5x multiplier product that I had, where I was at $13 an hour. And now my new product, when I reduce the cost, it's the same product. I'm at $40 an hour, and I've got a really, really nice profit balance. I can buy a ton more. Look at this, $20 in profit. How many more of these can I buy? I can buy like 9 more units of inventory and still have money left over and flip that money over and over and over again. How scalable is this product for my business? It's incredible. It's incredible, where a lot of people, they don't have anything left over. Remember, we haven't, and this is actually including advertising. And this is a product with multiple color variations. So I was just showing you one variation of sales. So now imagine that over multiple variations. So I really want you guys to think about your multipliers when you're considering your products. Improve your costs. Look at the things, your goal is to make money. You want to have a sustainable, scalable, profitable, and ultimately successful business. So you don't have to have 7x, but if you have less than 7x, I really want you to take a good look at your advertising costs and your inventory costs and all of that and try to improve things. All right? So product choice equals price control. It's so, so, so important. The example of our men's toiletry bag that we looked at is very easy to copy, and we've got to stay at that market price so we don't have control over price. And if we can't drop the price without losing money, we end up in this hole, right? And so many people end up in this hole during Q4 because so many people putting products out there, right? And maybe the prices are dropping because it gets super competitive and advertising costs go up. So I really want you guys to think about these basics when you're considering your inventory for Q4 and when you're considering your planning. If you cannot control the price, you got to look at all your other variables and make sure that they are in check. So I want you to stop the madness and make sure if you can't control the price, that you have enough margin to be successful. You got to have enough margin to pay for advertising, and you got to have enough margin to be able to pay yourself at the end. So when you're looking at your overall numbers, when you're calculating these numbers, really, really think about that. How much margin do I have, and can I control the price? Yes. So I want you to focus on the things you can control. Your product choice, you can control. The costs of your products, you can control. You can negotiate with your supplier. You can look at the different materials that you use. I'm not saying make a cheaply made product, but if the market is saying this is good enough, well, sometimes don't fall in love with your products, right? Sometimes if the market is saying this is good enough and you can make that toiletry bag really, really nice and you can sell it for $12 and you can source it for $1, well, more power to you, right? That would be great. So variations, think about variations. If I have a top selling toiletry bag and my margins are great and I'm doing really, really well, I could add in multiple colors. Hey, I can increase my sales. And then think about sales channels. So you can sell on Amazon, you can sell on multiple e-commerce channels, you can sell in retail. If you have the right margins, you can really scale that product to multiple channels. So again, we're revisiting this men's toiletry bag. We're remembering what the market is saying. They're telling us they want something in this range, right? We can differentiate it a little bit. We know what we can control. Look at your products through the lens of the customer when you're doing your planning. And so, if we bring this to Amazon, we can see what's happening right now and what the ranks are. And, we can kind of plan that out. All right, so don't forget about paying for clicks. So many people ask me this question, Rita. They ask me, how can I check the cost of advertising? Well, guess what, guys? SellerApp has a free tool for this. If you go to SellerApp.com and you go to their free tools section and you click on keyword research and you put in toiletry bag for men, you're gonna see the average cost per click. And how do you plan this? You look at how many clicks per campaign you're aiming for a day. You're aiming for 20 clicks a day, and you multiply that by the number of sales that you could make a day and the number of campaigns that you have, and that's how you're able to check how much per unit advertising might be costing you. Okay, so important. So if we look at this same product and imagine that this was my toiletry bag selling for $38, right? And this was my cost to make it and all of that. If my advertising costs for 244 clicks were $1.45, and that's exactly how much it is right now to make to pay for advertising. So that would bring my advertising costs for 244 clicks to $707. And I've seen some of your campaigns. I know some of you are paying much more than this in advertising, and that's fine as long as your margins support it. But advertising can get really expensive. So that takes our balance down to $691 after we buy new inventory, set aside the money to buy new inventory, right? Then that takes our balance down to $16. $16 is all we have left over to buy new inventory after we buy new inventory, right? Then we subtract our $200 and we're at negative $183. I was on a call with a client the other day, and it was actually costing him $5 every time he sold a product. And a lot of people don't realize that they're in the same position. And he's not the only one. I've had many calls with many people who are in this situation. So we've got to get down to the basics, and we have to look at, okay, how much are we selling in 30 days? How much of that is advertising? What are our costs? What are we left with, right? So if we're left with a negative balance after we set aside that amount of money to buy new inventory, we're in trouble, and we're going to be digging ourselves out of a hole, and it's going to take us a really long time to scale our business, and we're never going to be able to fire our boss. And I want you guys to fire your boss. So really focus on that. Now let's focus on where can we improve, right? So I want you guys to put all your products in a little spreadsheet. I want you to calculate these things, and I want you to identify areas of improvement.
Before that, I just have a question for the viewers who are watching. If you have any questions, you can comment down now and we will definitely get back to you. And if you're wondering how you can calculate your ACoS, I have a video link down here. So do watch that and it will help you. And I'm sure that Amy did such a good job explaining it as well. So Amy, back to you. Let's get started on identifying areas of improvement.
Yes. So once you have your margins and you know what's going on with your products and you've got some numbers there, look at what products are actually costing you the most compared to other products, right? I love to sort my spreadsheet by profit margin, right? I like to sort it by how much profit I have left over. I like to sort it by cost. Okay, how much does it cost, right? I like to sort it by margin to say, okay, wait, this one's got a really narrow margin. What's going on there, right? How can I improve that? So let's look at what's costing us the most and why it's costing us the most. Identify that and look at, can I improve any of that, right? Are you spending too much on advertising? This could mean you need to take a closer look at your competition, right? Because if you look at your product from through the eyes of the customer, and that market is really saturated, you're gonna pay for a lot of clicks that don't lead to sales, right? People are gonna click on your ad and then they're gonna scroll down in your listing, and if your listing isn't awesome, and if they haven't already decided to buy your product right then and there, they're gonna scroll down and Amazon's gonna show them 100 pages of other products just like yours. And with more reviews, with better reviews, with a lesser cost, all that stuff, and you're gonna be paying for a lot of clicks that don't lead to sales. And I do a lot of listing reviews. I have a free listing review service. If you're not making sales, you can go to amazingathome.com and you can submit your listing to me and I'll review it for you. But the bottom line is, a lot of time, it's very easy for me to tell that this product, people are paying for clicks, right? Is advertising costing you too much? What are some things you can do? You can improve your listing. You can improve your photographs. You can really call out what's different about your product, right? So if you have a toiletry bag that looks the same as everybody else's, maybe your differentiation is, oh, there's more space in this one, or there's an inner pocket, right? Something that really matters to that customer. You want to call that out. So anyway, if your returns are high, If you go and you look at your sales report and your cost reports on Amazon, you can see your returns are really, really high. What's the reason? Maybe, now, of course, there's a lot of people that shop in the middle of the night on Amazon and they buy things, it's a whole thing, it's pretty funny. But so sometimes it's not a big deal. Your returns are not a big deal. But other times, you can look at voice of the customer on your Amazon Seller Central dashboard and you can see maybe you're not accurately describing your product, but maybe you can make some improvements there, right? Is your gross margin really low? If your gross margin is really low, that means the margin you have left after everything, right? Look at what your costs are. Maybe your shipping costs are too high. Maybe your cost is too high from your supplier. Look at what you can improve to help improve your margin, right? Or maybe you're having to lower your price to compete. Maybe that product, it's time to say goodbye to that product, time to liquidate it, or, but not without trying all the other things you're going to learn during Q4 Mastery. But anyway, and then are your organic sales really low? So remember I showed you guys, you can look at your 30 days of sales from your advertising campaigns, and then you can click the SKU in your inventory dashboard and you can look at how many total sales you had during that 30 days. Subtract the total orders from your advertising and look how many organic sales that you had. If your organic sales are low, guess what? You can optimize your listing and you can show up for thousands more searches. Every phrase you put in your listing represents a search people are looking for that product, right? That search that you could be showing up for, increasing your organic sales. So I want you guys to look at your organic sales and see if you can improve those as well. So remember that lower cost equals increased profit. So if we can't control that price, we need to lower the cost. So how do we lower our costs? We can negotiate better prices with our manufacturer. We can get volume discounts, right? We can talk to our manufacturer about that. We can source directly from factories. We can change to lower cost material. You never know. Often I see sellers, they'll go to their manufacturer and say, I want this made out of this material. And I was on a negotiation session with a client the other day, and I said, hey, how can we get that same effect, that same color on that same product at a lower cost? And the manufacturer came and he showed us, we were on a WeChat call, he showed us a different product and it looked awesome. And he was like, yeah, we can make it out of this. And their price for this product on Alibaba was $5. We left that negotiation at $1.24 a unit. That is how you do it, people. That's how you do it. You got to look at all your material options. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be cheaper. It doesn't mean that the product has to fall apart. It means that we know what our options are. And the manufacturer can often give us those options, but we don't know those options if we have a pen pal relationship with our supplier. We got to get on the phone. We got to talk through these things. We need to understand our manufacturing process. We got to get after this. We need to become the experts in our products. All right. So you can change the type of manufacturing processes, right? I had this cut and sew product that I made it myself for $1. And I tested it on Amazon. I sewed 20 of them and I sent them into Amazon and it did great. And that was like my form of validation, right? So I went to the manufacturer. I was at Canton Fair and I said, hey, how much can I get this for? And he gave me a price of like $2. And I was like, no, I make it myself for less than $1. So I need to do better with mass manufacturing than that. And we started looking at the different processes. So he was actually using a heat sealing method to make it. And I said, okay, well, can we sew it? Because I'm sewing it. And he was like, oh yeah, that'll cut a bunch of the cost down. And then the other thing was the type of material. I didn't need the type of material that he was using. And I said, okay, well, what if I use a material like this? And he was like, oh yeah, I can more than meet your cost there, right? So really think through the type of manufacturing processes, like heat sealing versus sewing. There's all different things. And then like even the cost of the logo being printed on your product. We had a lady in our mastermind group. She researched her manufacturing processes and she learned that she was having her product embroidered, and she changed it to this really cool looking like heat seal logo that goes over the top. And she cut her costs immensely by doing that. And the logo looks great. The new logo looks great. So really think about that. Change how many colors are used. If I'm making this in 5 colors, I can cut it down and still make it look really cool and reduce my costs. Think about lower shipping costs, right? If I can order a full container load versus a less than container load, I can really decrease my cost for shipping. And then finally, lower packaging costs. I can't tell you, Rhea, how many people have had really, really, really high packaging costs because they want this really great box, and the Amazon customer doesn't care that they have a nice box on their package. So make sure that you're negotiating your packaging costs right in with your suppliers. And there's a lot of cool things you can do with packaging that still look great, but are reduced costs. I am launching a new cat product soon. And at first we were looking at a box for it, and the box cost was really expensive and it was cutting into my target price. And I asked them to walk me around the factory and show me other types of packaging. And I didn't want a poly bag because it was too cheap, right? But they showed me this really cool, like clear kind of plasticky kind of bag with a zipper top. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And it looks cool. And the price was only 8 cents a unit for packaging. So that's the thing, you guys. Look at all your options. Know your manufacturing process. Don't be afraid to lower your costs. It can be done. I can't tell how many people have said, well, Amy, I can't get it cheaper. They won't budge on price. It's because you're not asking the questions. You're not asking the questions. You're just saying, well, what's the best price you can do? Sit down. On average, we spend about 2 hours on these negotiation sessions talking with suppliers. So you really want to take the time to lower your costs if you can. And still provide great value for the market. So my lower cost example, just to show you guys, right? I was able to reduce my cost from $6 down to $1.68. And remember, that really, really made a huge, huge difference, okay? So you can introduce variations, right? If you already have a product that's selling well, you can introduce a lot of variations. And so if you guys have a product during Q4 that's already selling well all year round, think about what variations you could add, because that would be really, really great, right? So the Whiskey Rocks variations, there's all these different ones. Well, you could do different shapes, you could do different on-trend kind of things. So for example, if we have the rocks, we got this glass. This is a best-selling glass here with the bullet in it, right? Well, we could play around with different variations, right? Maybe we could do something with the hunting dogs. Whiskey drinkers also like hunting dogs, right? Really study your market and look at what they like and introduce variations that they're going to absolutely love, so that they're going to want to collect all of your products, right? They're going to want to not just buy this color or not just buy this shape. They're going to want all of them. That's a really easy way to increase your amount of products that you have and also take advantage of a variation listing. So now your sales channels. You can sell on your own website. You can sell on multiple channels. You can sell on Amazon in multiple marketplaces and other e-commerce marketplaces. I showed you guys Walmart, Wayfair, all those different ones. Choose the sales channels that are the best fit for your brand and your products. And yes. I believe you had a question for me about sales channels, right?
Because what do you advise people to sell in multiple cross borders and different marketplaces during this Q4 season? Because I've noticed a lot of products do not sell as good in their own native market. Like if we're talking about Indian brands and tribal prints, right? So if you think about tribal prints in India, they may not sell as much, but in America or like other foreign countries, they're like a hot topic. You're like, oh, this is like this fancy Indian print that I have. And I think that's good. So if you want to sell on different marketplaces, that's a great option for you. But Amy, could you tell me if it's a really good option for people specifically in this Q4 season?
Well, I think you mentioned, look at your market, right? So if you're selling these really cool Indian prints and they're killing it in the American market, but not doing so well in the Indian market, well, consider that. So before you expand your channels, really look at whether it's the right channel for your product, whether it's the right market, what the costs are going to be, and look at those things that we talked about during this presentation. Look at the things that you can control. So if you can sell that product for a really great price and you can get a lot of monthly sales and the market looks really good, yes, I would consider expanding, definitely. But don't blindly move into another market without actually researching first whether it's the right market for you. And you can do that very easily simply by going, people always ask me that, hey, should I go to the UK with this product? Well, I don't know. Let's go on Amazon UK and see what it looks like, right? What does your competition look like? What's the market look like? What's the price? How much is it going to cost you to export it there? All of that kind of stuff. But something to consider, if you're ordering from your supplier and you're considering, like, it looks really good in the UK market or something like that, and you're like, man, I'm gonna expand. Make sure that you figure out the logistics ahead of time, because it's going to be cheaper for you to ship from your supplier to the UK and to the US, and then you shipping to the US and then exporting again to another market. So think through that ahead of time as you're planning.
Yep, that's good advice. Thank you.
Yeah. So remember the gold vase on Amazon, right? We got $19 to $39, $21, $29, and that same gold vase on Wayfair. Look at the average prices. Lowest price is $46. That same price was $19 on Amazon, right? And the highest prices are $234. So this looks like a better market for that gold vase, right? And we could do the same thing with other Amazon markets. We could look and go, okay, well, how does this gold vase look on Amazon Japan? How does this gold vase look on Amazon Spain, right? And we can take a look at it and go, all right, is this the best market for me? What's the pricing? What can I source it for? What can I sell it for? And take a look at all of that, right? So now let's identify areas of improvement. So here's some things that we can do to improve, right? I want you to review your listings. So the first thing you can do is look at that spreadsheet, right? Look at what you can improve. But then if it's something about the price or your advertising, look at your listing from the customer's perspective and see, okay, could I optimize this listing? Could I optimize my advertising? A lot of times people pay too much in advertising simply because it's not optimized. I can't tell you how many people will open up new campaigns and just keep pausing the old ones because they're like, oh, it's too much money. I'm going to pause it and I'm going to open up another campaign. The idea is to optimize it, right? To put the money where it's converting and lower the bid on those things that are costing you too much, right? But if you just keep opening up new campaigns, you're not going to solve the problem. So make sure that you're actually optimizing your advertising. I know you guys are going to be talking about that during the Q4 Mastery. Run a sales promotion. You might be able to, advertise across multiple channels. You might be able to put that out on your Facebook, that kind of stuff, and really increase your sales that way. You can cross-sell with another product. I love doing that. I love creating a coupon code in one product. That's another reason I like to merchant fulfill sometimes, or have inventory near me so that I can change out my inserts and cross-sell with other products. Meet with the supplier to discuss costs, find new packaging, update your branding or look, and maybe you can sell that product for even better prices, right? Liquidate the product. It might be time to say goodbye, time to move on, time to cut your losses on it. Expand to another channel. These are all options.
Yep, that's good advice. And for branding, we have a video coming out tomorrow, and I will be going live with Emma, and she is like a branding expert, and she will tell you how you can optimize your branding to look more appealing, and that way you can get more. You can either increase your price, your conversion rates are going to be higher, and your brand will look more appealing to customers as well.
Yeah, there's a reason why Walmart can only sell their shoe for $10 and Nike can sell theirs for $100. Yeah. Branding matters, definitely. All right, inventory considerations. So we want to think about, now this is where we're getting into the Q4 planning, right? We're going to look at all these things, but remember during Q4, especially if you're a new seller, that you might not be able to send in certain things like toys. If you do not have a sales record, you may be limited to those things. So check those things out. Plus, everybody has noticed Amazon has recently done this 200 per ASIN inventory limit. So just check those, right? Check that out and make sure that if you have limits on your inventory, you're planning ahead and that you can use an external warehouse or a 3PL. The biggest question I've been getting lately is, Amy, what's a good warehouse? What's a good 3PL? A good one is one that you can interview and make sure that they're a good fit for your products and your brand, right? So interview a few different warehouses, a few different 3PLs. hit up Google, check it out, right? And find one that's right for your business and right for your margins and your costs. Restricted products, again, you might be limited in what you can sell. So make sure that you aren't, and make sure that you're looking at that. And then don't forget about Chinese New Year. For those of you who don't spend a lot of time in China and you just think that China's like quitting during the Chinese New Year, well, that is it's a huge human migration, right? This is the only time that they actually spend with their family. A lot of times they'll actually live where the factory is. And so it's important to understand culture, right? And plan ahead for that. So, book your orders early. And so let's say that you are, you're worried about running out of inventory during Q4. This is going to be a big Q4. So if you're worried about that, you can always place a larger order now with your supplier. They can produce it all now, and they can hold your excess right there in their warehouse. Right? You might be able to negotiate some awesome payment terms for that, where you can work that out. But if you have them produce it ahead of time, then when you're out of stock, you don't have to wait for them to produce it again when Chinese New Year is coming up, and you can go ahead and just have them ship out the next shipment, right? So that's a really good hack to get things done and make sure that you don't run out of stock.
So Amy, now that we're talking about inventory, I have two quick questions for you. So one is about long-term storage fees and how people can reduce it, and how do you calculate it so people are able to sell on Amazon Q4 without losing an opportunity out for that?
So remember, yes, during Q4, you're assessed storage fees every 30 days. So it's important to remember, make sure that you're trying your best to estimate what your sales are going to be. And also remember that, send that only as much inventory as you need to send into Amazon, and not too much, because it can really, they charge you by, it's like the cubic foot or something in their warehouse, by the size of your product and how much square footage is being taken up in their warehouses. So you definitely want to think about reducing that, right? If you're a brand new seller and you don't know how much this product is going to sell, you can use tools that show you how much that product sold last year, similar products sold last year. You can kind of try and estimate it. But the best thing to do, if you're paying long-term storage fees right now on your products, that needs to be part of your assessment for your business. And you need to look at it and go, okay, wait, I'm paying more than I'm making on this product. Remove that from your costs, right? Like, look at that, remove that from your total, when you're subtracting your costs from your total profits, make sure that you're subtracting that cost out, and that you're taking a look at, oh, wow, am I not making any money with this product with these long-term storage fees? And what can I do? And then for short-term storage during Q4, plan ahead as much as possible and utilize, third-party logistics providers and things like that, where you might be able to save some money on that.
Yep. And the second question was about A/B testing. And I think all the sellers know that Amazon has A/B testing, and they would add this logistic fees or logistic shipping charges to your bills. So I was wondering how you can reduce that, and is there any way to avoid it?
Well, you do want to be careful about turning on things like inventory placement. Inventory placement is a setting that allows you to send all of your inventory to one single Amazon warehouse. And you have to look at the cost for that. Sometimes it is less of a cost to be able to send it to one warehouse, even with inventory placement turned on. But sometimes it is not, and it's better for you to be shipping it to multiple warehouses. So definitely take a look at what your logistics are costing you, and see where you can make those improvements.
Yep. All right. Thank you for clarifying that, Amy, and let's go back to our session.
All right. So this is it, really. I mean, I just want you guys to plan for Q4. So plan your sales promotions. Look at Amazon deals. You might be able, if you go to advertising deals section of Seller Central, you might be able to apply for some deals like Cyber Monday, Black Friday. All that stuff takes time to set up, and you got to make sure that you have the margin for it. You don't want to lose money at the end of it, right? If you do an Amazon deal, you might want to turn off your advertising for that product just during that time, because Amazon does promote those products quite heavily. So you don't want to have those extra costs. Seasonal. Think about what you can do with your products seasonally. I had these cat toys that are like, that's my story product of the product that was terrible and didn't sell and was super saturated. And I stuffed them in stockings, in Christmas stockings, and I sold out of them. So think about things that you can do with your products. And if you have low sellers, maybe you can put a seasonal twist on them and sell out of them, right? Advertising, look at, if you're trying out new advertising campaigns or seasonal keywords, right? And I know you guys are going to do Q4 Mastery advertising stuff, so pay attention to those. But you want to spin your campaigns up a few weeks early, because you really want them to start getting those impressions, and you want to get moving on those. And then don't forget on advertising, if you're going to do something seasonal, if you're going to put Christmas gift, you're going to bid on the keyword Christmas gift for men or something, make sure that's somewhere in your listing, in the front end or the back end. Think about all these things, plan ahead is the bottom line. Storage fees, increased check-in time. Keep in mind these storage fees and increased check-in time. We just talked about this. But also, if you have to send in new inventory during Q4, right? If you run out of stock and you have to send in new inventory during Q4, send it in small parcel delivery. Send it in SPD, because that gets checked in before the freight delivery on Amazon, in Amazon Fulfillment Center. So make sure that you're doing that. And that you give it an extra couple of weeks. So if you're about to run out of stock in 2 weeks from now, you want to be sending that inventory in yesterday, because it's going to take that additional time to get checked in. So, and then finally, consider all of your fulfillment options. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, I do both. You can set that up now. And, you don't necessarily have to merchant fulfill yet, but you can list your products again as merchant fulfilled, put the number of inventory at 0, and then when you're ready to go ahead and consider those options, you don't have to worry about setting it up during Q4. You can set it up ahead of time and set it and forget it, if you will. And then don't forget about multi-channel. If you're selling on other channels, you can often use Amazon's multi-channel fulfillment to fulfill those products. So all of that is good stuff for Q4.
Wow, that was such an informative session.
Yeah, so long-term, you guys, just kind of wrapping it up here, I want you to take the time to really plan for your brand. Don't build it around a single product. Think about where you're going. To take us back to the very first slide where we talked about, we don't want to focus on revenue, we want to focus on profitability and scalability. Have a strategy for each launch that you do, right? Many people, they feel this just pressure to launch a million things at once, right? Really think through each launch. Think through the market. Think about what the customer wants. If you're customer focused and you deliver what the customer is looking for in your market at the price they're looking for, at the quality they're looking for, you're going to win every single time. And then don't forget to maximize your profitability. Think about those things that you can control and get after them. So I do have a special offer for you guys. If you're wanting to dive deep into all of this, like if you're wanting to learn how to actually negotiate and how to source and how to do everything, if this is new information to you and you've never learned it this way before and you're wondering how I get 14x multipliers on my products, this is the program for you, okay? So you can join our mastermind group at the builders level, and that gives you access to all of our content. So if you use code WELCOME, at amazingathome.com/mastermind, you can save 50% on that. And that's, so happy to teach everyone how to get better profits, because that's what it's all about, and be able to eventually fire your boss, hopefully, right?
Well, thank you so much, Amy, for this amazing session. I'm sure that all of us have learned so much. And if you like this session, make sure that you like the video and let us know that you liked it, and comment down below what you liked about the session. If you did not like the session, comment down below and tell us what you did not like about the session, and turn that like button blue, turn that subscribe button great, and join our seller community to get more tips and tricks and more hacks, as Amy says, to build your Amazon business. You can also sign up with us with SellerApp to get a free trial, and you can see it for yourself how you can improve your Amazon journey. And thank you so much, Amy, for this wonderful session. I'm sure all of us had a great time. And we have another session for you tomorrow. It's Branding with Emma. So you can increase your brand visibility by like a great extent. We also have optimization sessions next week, so do check them out also. And I think this is it, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.